Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Click to subscribe Believing Beings and press the bell icon to get notified about new videos.
Though computer science says that trying to get an artificial intelligence, but Allah's creation of the human being is far superior than the computer. And there have been many a times competition between human beings and the computer. And if you've heard of the famous mathematician from India, Shakuntala Devi, she had a competition with the fastest computer and they gave an equation which was very long and she defeated the computer with 10 or 20 seconds.
Islam has a positive view of technology, viewing it as a tool that can be used to improve human life and promote social welfare. The Islamic tradition has a strong emphasis on learning and knowledge, and Muslims have historically made significant contributions to fields such as mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and architecture. Islamic scholars and thinkers have also emphasized the need to use technology in a way that is ethical, just, and in accordance with Islamic values. In addition, some Islamic scholars have raised concerns that the use of technology should be subject to ethical guidelines and regulations to ensure that it is used for the benefit of humanity and not to harm it. Overall, Muslims view technology as a means to enhance their purpose of creation and contribute to the betterment of society in accordance with the teachings of Islam. One of the known aspects of the technology of the modern era is artificial intelligence, which refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to learn, reason, and make decisions based on data. AI has become increasingly popular in recent times due to advances in technology and the growing demand for automation. One example of a popular AI-based platform is ChatGPT, a computer program that can be used to communicate with humans. It processes natural language and provides answers to the questions in a way that if you are talking to a person. People nowadays are also using AI to draw imaginary pictures through platforms that use machine learning to generate images based on textual descriptions. Moreover, it can produce realistic voice from text and much more. Now we dive into one of Dr. Zakir Naik's lectures on the Quran and modern science, where he was questioned if the Quran talks about something that can be associated with artificial intelligence. A brother told Dr. Zakir that as we know that the basis of artificial intelligence is to copy the functions of human beings, and asks that is there any verse in the Quran relating to computers and AI.
Computer science depends on the simulation between human functions and at the same time artificial intelligence as a field from computer science already defined depend on the simulation of function of human beings. So my question, did you find verses from the Holy Quran define the relationship between information technology or computer science and the human beings?
Dr. Zakir Naik begins his answers by reminding the questioner that Quran is not a book of science, but a book of science. He says that there is a lot of information in the Quran, but it does not specifically deals with every fact. Quran doesn't mention 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, but it's the truth. Everything that science says is not in the Quran, and the truth is that we cannot find even a single verse in the Quran that goes against the established science. Dr. Zakir further compares humans with artificial intelligence.
You're asking about computer science, and if I have to link it with computer, though computer science says that trying to get an artificial intelligence, but Allah's creation of the human being is far superior than the computer. And there have been many a times competition between human beings and the computer. And if you've heard of the famous mathematician from India, Shakuntala Devi, she had a competition with the fastest computer and they gave an equation which was very long and she defeated the computer with 10 or 20 seconds. So the human being, what Allah has made the God-given computer, is far superior than a normal computer.
Human beings are believed to be the greatest creation of Allah, endowed with unique qualities and abilities that make them superior to all other forms of creation. The human brain and body, in particular, are considered to be among the most complex and sophisticated creations of Allah. The Quranic verse of Surah At-Tin, "We have certainly created man in the best of stature, emphasizes the superiority of human beings over other forms of creation. In Islamic teachings, the human brain is regarded as a miracle of Allah, capable of performing complex functions that are beyond the capabilities of even the most advanced machines. Dr. Naik speaks about mathematics and its link with computers and intelligence, and says, can we regard the Quran as computer-coded? He mentioned Aristotle, who propounded the basis of mathematics, put forward the idea that every statement can either be true or false. Due to some flaws, the idea of Aristotle was later rectified with a rule that whenever we make any statement, it can be viewed in one of two ways, either meaning-wise or mentioning-wise. Dr. Zakir gave an example of this rule by asking the audience the question that anyone believes that Quran contains any contradictions, and their obvious reply is no, to which Dr. Zakir Naik replied that Quran does contains contradiction, and quoted Surah An-Nisa chapter 4, verse 82, which says, "Do they not ponder about the Quran? Had it been from any other than Allah, they would surely have found in it many contradictions." Dr. Naik explains in this way, Quran does contain contradiction, mentioning-wise, but not meaning-wise.
Do you not ponder the Quran with care? Had it been from anyone besides Allah, there would have been many contradictions. The word contradiction is there in the Quran. So all of you are wrong, I am right. Does the Quran contain contradiction, yes or no? Mentioning-wise, yes. Meaning-wise, no.
He further gave examples of mathematical miracles of the Quran, providing statements in either of the two forms of mentioning-wise or meaning-wise. He stated Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 59, which says, "Indeed, the example of Jesus in the sight of Allah is like that of Adam. He created him from dust, then said to him, 'Be.' And he was." In this verse, we come to know both Jesus and Adam, peace be upon them, are created by the miracle of Allah in terms of meaning, but when it talks about their similitude, we come to know that both Jesus and Adam, peace be upon them, is mentioned 25 times in the entire Quran. If we talk about the miraculous mathematical coding in the Quran, it is characterized by a unique phenomenon, never found in any human-authored book. Every element of the Quran is mathematically composed: the surahs, the verses, the words, the number of certain letters, and variety of divine names, the absence or deliberate alteration of certain letters within particular words, and much more. Here are a few examples of the astonishing mathematical composition in the Quran. The word salawat, that is, prayers, is mentioned 5 times in the Quran, which is the number of daily prayers mandatory for every Muslim. The word yawm, meaning day, in the singular, is mentioned 365 times in the Quran, just as the number of days there are in a year. The number of times the word man is mentioned 24 times. The number of times the word woman is mentioned 24 times. Dr. Zakir Naik concluded that, as we analyze these computational accuracy of the Quran, we come to know that indeed this book is from no one but Allah.
So today if we analyze the Quran with computer, it is impossible for a human being to write a book which is meaning-wise correct and mentioning-wise also correct with so many different messages. So this word, the glorious Quran, this book, the glorious Quran, cannot be from a human being, has to be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you put the Quran to the test of computer, even a computer to create this would be impossible. So this is the closest I can think that if you want to analyze the Quran through a computer.
The man who asked the question at the beginning further inquired Dr. Naik about the Quran mentioning about reflecting on ourselves, and how we can utilize human capabilities for our benefit, just like in the case of artificial intelligence.
I found one verse from the Holy Quran talking about the simulation. The ayah in Surah An-Nahl, Allah says subhanahu wa ta'ala, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. That means we should thinking about ourselves or themselves functions. So I think this verse push us to thinking about the simulation, how we can make the simulation between the human being functions, and how we can use these functions to help the humans.
Dr. Zakir replied that there are many verses in the Quran talking about humans examining themselves. Quran says that this book is for the men of understanding. He says that the beauty of the Quran is that its one verse can have multiple meanings which can satisfy an intellectual as well as a layman. The same verse can be the best Arabic literature, a miracle, and can also speak about science. The beauty of the Quran is such that it will prove to be the word of God in all ages, whether it will be the era of literature and poetry or the current period of science and technology. Finally, if we talk about using technology and artificial intelligence as a Muslim, it can provide numerous benefits, including easy access to Islamic knowledge, enhanced worship and religious practices, improved communication and community building, charitable contributions, and increased productivity. Technology and AI tools such as digital Quran apps, language translation software, social media, and online lectures can help Muslims to learn, connect, and collaborate more efficiently. However, it is important to use these tools responsibly, in accordance with Islamic values, and ensure we do not distract from the fundamental principles of our faith.
Oh.